Hello, I want to talk about how jealous women will try to ruin your dating options and interject when men try to talk to you. This has happened to me my entire life, from my own family and from coworkers or women in the street. A man will approach me or a guy will approach me and they will get mad and interject immediately. I'm like, hey, how are you doing? And they'll be like, oh, I'm doing fine. What about me? Yeah, she's so pretty, but like, she's so shy. And it's like, okay, but was he talking to you or was he talking to me? And if you're not confrontational, like I'm not confrontational, you'll probably just want to walk away from it, because that's what I do. And sometimes these women will push so hard to where other men, like the men, will get like uncomfortable with it too. Some men like it and they're like, think that you're gonna like fight for their attention, and when you don't, they get even more offended. But some men are like you and not confrontational, and they just don't want to deal with it. And there will always be women who love to pretend like, oh no, I'm not trying to compete with you, I'm not jealous of you, but then they'll show themselves competing with you. And it's like, if you're not competing with me, why do you keep interjecting in my conversations? If you're not competing with me, then why do you keep trying to make everything a competition? Just leave me alone. It's really that simple. And sometimes these women will be married, but they'll still find a reason to try to compete with you. So me, myself, I'm an extremely quiet person. And to the point where like I have to like turn the volume up so that you can hear my videos. And I'm very soft-spoken, and people take that as like they can just do whatever. So like guys will approach me and immediately a woman will interject. It happened. It's happened so many times. I'm trying to think of a particular instance, but even growing up, my own egg donor would do that to me. Like if a guy gave me a compliment, she'd be like, she gets it from me. And it's like, it was so agitating. Like she would be like, that's my love and leave him daughter. Like trying to like make the guy not like me or not want to pursue me. And it would make them uncomfortable. And there will obviously be guys who are like, yeah, I don't care about any of that, and keep going. And then she would throw a temper tantrum. But there was also guys who like would get overwhelmed by it and want to back off. And I would get frustrated. I'm like, you're married, why do you care? And she would be like, do you even really like that guy? And I'm like, just because you're insecure and you need attention doesn't mean you get to take it from everyone else who's getting it. And I don't know why. Well, I do know why I got the brunt of it from her, because her husband was obsessive with me. But this didn't just happen with her. This happened in workplaces too. Like if a guy spoke to me, all of a sudden, women would try to come and interject. It wouldn't bother him any other time. But as soon as he spoke to me, it was like, let's go and all interject in this conversation. And I'm just like, and they'll look at me and like do this. It's this weird thing that women do. Like they'll smirk. And I'm like, I don't really care, because like this happened in my old job. And I worked at a warehouse. And I was doing like some quality control and just making sure people's work was correct. Well, these guys, some of them would speak to me sometimes about the work. Every single time a woman interjected, and I'm just like, this is like obnoxious. Like, y'all are older than me. What are you gaining from this? Half of y'all are married. It was actually frustrating, because it like was interfering with my job at a point to where I'm like, I'm not confrontational, but you're actually pushing me to a limit. Like I don't even want to work here anymore. Like that's how obnoxious you people are. And some of the guys were like trashy, and they would like think that it was cute, and so I walked away, and they'd be like, you don't even care. What is that even, like, you don't even care? Like that someone's interjecting in my conversation because they need attention, and you think that you're important enough for me to want to compete for you? I don't even know you. I want to do my job and go home. I would never want to be with a guy who does something like that or thinks that that stuff is cute. And it was like really weird. Sometimes guys would also get their quote unquote female friends or friends that were girls to do that too, to like try to make me chase them. I don't know, but I remember this happened to me because this guy walked up to me and he was pretending that he was asking me for directions, and I was like, oh, I think it's that street over there. And then he was like, then the girl came up and started talking to him, so I walked away. I'm like, okay, cool, like whatever. And he chases after me like, you're just gonna walk away? And I'm like, I gave you the answer. What more do you want from me? He's like, oh, that's just my friend, you know, she's nothing to worry about. I'm like, you asked me for directions, I gave you directions. That's the end of this conversation. Enough. And it was so weird because it was like these 30 and 40-year-olds made it some type of game in my old job to do this. Like, we're gonna all keep walking up to her so that other girls approach us, and then we're gonna ask her why she's like they'll like, oh my god, like they knew what they were doing, obviously, but they like were not trying to hide it. Like they would be like, what when I would like get uncomfortable because like now a swarm of people are surrounding me because one person approached me, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna walk away. And every single time they'd be like, why you just gonna walk away? You just gonna let her interrupt you like that? And I'm like, I'm not a ghetto hood rat like you. Yes, I'm gonna walk away. Leave me alone. I don't understand why they thought that was gonna be cute. And what's crazy is some of these people weren't like, you know, from bad areas. These were people who were from good areas doing this, but they like wanted to be down with like bad people. And I never understood that. I'm like, whatever, do you? But yeah, they would keep pushing and pushing, and I'm just like, I don't want to be involved with this. And then they would call me stuck up because me not want to be involved with whatever sick love triangle they have going on with themselves and these other people. I'm the stuck up one? Or are you the weirdo who wants to force or pressure people into wanting you, to chase you? You want to use reverse psychology to make me want to chase you, and that will never happen. It will never happen. I don't know why people push so hard to do that. Like, ew. It's gross. That's like, it's way too effeminate for me. I don't want to deal with anyone like that. But there are women who do. There are women who want to compete for male validation or male attention. And it doesn't matter if they're married. It doesn't matter how old they are. They will do that. And then when you check yourself out, they'll attack you. You're the stuck-up one. You think you're more, you think you're all that. And it's like, okay, yes, I do think I'm all that. And stop trying to add me into whatever you have going on. I would never want to be with a man who is engaged in that. I would never want to be with a man who thinks that's cute. It's disgusting. The second you try to enter into someone's conversation and try to like start flirting with a guy who you think is flirting with me or whatever, I'm going to leave. Because if he doesn't check it, why do I want to be with that person? And why would you want to do that to another woman? I would never understand that. But I didn't know these guys. They still did it. They have done this with me and my dad and my brothers because I don't look like... I feel like I look like my dad, but like at the same time, like we look different because, you know, we're two different complexions. And people would do that with us. And I'm just like, okay, I'm going to go to the car, Dad. And then they'll be like rolling their eyes because I don't care. I'm not engaging. And I used to just like ignore it as much as I can, but it happens so often. It's so obnoxious. And I know people say take it as a compliment, but at a certain point it does get annoying. And you're just sitting there like, why are you bothering me? I don't care about you. Especially if, like, you know, say you're having a bad day or you're PMSing, like, I don't want to deal with that. Leave me alone. Just talk to the man. You don't have to bother me. You don't have to interrupt my conversation. It's absurd. And they think they're doing something when they interrupt you and start talking to a guy and, like, he's being polite and he's speaking back. And you're sitting there like, okay, like, what did you gain from this? I don't know what it is about me that just makes people want to do these things, but it's actually quite sick in the head that I trigger this into people, and that I've seen other girls trigger this into people too. And I'm just like, you are so obnoxious. And that girl is not worried about you. But I am getting annoyed with people interrupting my conversations. It's like a pet peeve for me now because it's happened so often. Like, you see two people talking, oh my goodness, and then like this, like they'll interrupt and they'll start talking, and like you don't want to be rude because they just interrupted a conversation, even though that's rude. And they're like, oh, I'm just talking to him. And I'm like, okay, well, you interrupted a conversation. And I usually don't even say that. I just like, wow, like, this is so disrespectful. But one thing for sure and two things for certain, if the guy laughs at that, I don't care if they're my family member, I will never speak to you again. Like, I'm so tired of people feeling it's okay to disrespect other people because you're intimidated and insecure. Because I don't look at people like that. I look at people as humans, and everyone deserves respect until they are disrespectful. And I'm so sick of people doing that ignorant mess. But yeah, it doesn't bother me that people want to talk to other people in my like conversation, but I feel like people go out of their way to be rude to me when I'm not being rude to them. So I'm just like, okay, desperate, someone's insecure, that's weird. But I just bow out because I don't even care. I'm not even like, well, I've already expressed this, but I'm like an introvert, and I like to like just do my own thing, vibe. So it doesn't bother me. Sometimes I like when they do it because they help me get out of the conversation. Just gonna be honest. But yeah, I don't know. Dealing with rude interactions is kind of like always strange to me. But that's all I'm gonna say for this video. Thank you, bye.
Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty.